Sunny Melendrez, Sunny Radio, sunnyradio.com.
Hello. It's Sunny Melendrez, and welcome to the positive side of the radio spectrum. This is the place where every week we strive to bring you entertainment and inspiration through storytelling, fascinating guests, exclusive celebrity interviews, and it's all delivered with lots of enthusiasm. And on today's show, I'm going to introduce you to a social media butterfly. But first, let me tell you that we're brought to you by Ideal Precision Roofing in San Antonio. You know, one of the benefits of being spokesperson for Ideal has given me a great insight into what people say after they've experienced the services of Ideal Precision Roofing. Let me just read you something that Lana Beavers, who's a homeowner here in San Antonio, said. She said, quote, "This company is amazing. From beginning to end, Cody Moon was our point of contact. He was so wonderful and patient in explaining the details to my elderly mother. He was in contact with us throughout the entire process, and when the crew came, they were nice, did a wonderful job, and in the end, our roof looks fantastic. I would recommend this company over and over again. Outstanding customer service." Unquote. Wow. Lana, thank you so much. And that is just one of the many testimonials from the hundreds of satisfied customers who've had their roof replaced or repaired by Ideal Precision Roofing in San Antonio. I want to tell you something. I'm proud to represent them, and you are definitely in good hands when you call Ideal at 210-485-1553. That's 210-485-1553, or visit them at idealprecisionroofing.com and tell them you heard it on the Sunny Melendrez Show. And now, on with the show.
Sunny Radio, sunnyradio.com, San Antonio.
Well, my guest today is a social media butterfly. Her name is Madalyn Mendoza, a.k.a. Maddy Sky online, and she is a digital reporter for the San Antonio Express News here in the Alamo City. And it's because Maddy is tuned in to her hometown and Texas that she has an edge and an approachable voice that sources look to and depend on. She's connected, she's vibrant, and very approachable. Welcome, Maddy Sky.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Now, you and I have never met, although we have kind of talked to each other online, and I complimented you on your ability to communicate, but just all the great things that you've done.
Yeah,
and I'd like to kind of start out because you're people say, well, she's no spring chicken. Well, you are a spring chicken.
Yeah, I am. I've been in the news industry for about 5 years professionally, but before that, I was working as an intern or with my college broadcasting network. And funny, you just mentioned that we never met. I think we actually met when I was a very little girl at an outing somewhere that you were at. I remember my mom introducing me to you. I was very young, probably only about 8 years old.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny.
Yeah.
You know, I hosted TEDx San Antonio and also was a speaker. And Kelly Strait, who was one of the organizers, we were talking backstage. She said, I want to show you something. And she pulls out her phone. She shows me a picture of me holding her as a 3-year-old in front of the Alamo. And
yeah.
she said,
yeah, I feel like
what's
San
that?
Antonio is so small in that sense.
Oh, yeah. But her dad said, can you take a picture with my daughter? You know, little did I know that, one day.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
The woman surely come, yeah.
Exactly. Well, let us go back to your college days. Where did you go to college?
I went to University of Incarnate Word, and I was in the comm arts department, which is a very small but dedicated group of students. We have a newspaper and a broadcasting network and a radio station.
Now, did you know what you wanted to do?
I thought I did. My focus is in broadcast journalism, which is where I got my start at KSAT and KENS 5. KENS 5, I was a high school sports content producer / reporter. I really didn't have any expectation of moving into the newspaper or the digital world at all.
But you ended up, of course, doing stuff on camera, I understand, at Channel 5, at Kent's TV, which is the CBS affiliate here in San Antonio. And I will tell you, Maddy, that this show is heard. If you hear me explaining things about San Antonio, this show is heard now in 23 countries.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're very excited about the fact that we're worldwide and can kind of put the spotlight on the Alamo City and the things that are going on. Well, let's kind of talk about the elephant in the room, and that would be the coronavirus. You you have recently been kind of retweeting all kinds of different tips and different things about the virus. What's your take on what's going on?
My take is that it's changing rapidly, and it's all very surreal. I remember just a couple of weeks ago watching from afar all the developments that were happening in China and thinking to myself, there's no way that our daily life is going to be disrupted or we're going to have to worry about anything. My biggest fear is not, contracting the disease myself, but transmitting it to somebody who may not be able to beat it as easily. Right,
exactly. And and the one of the biggest, I guess, a tipping point was South by Southwest, which brings in like 400,000 people, and they come in from all over the world. But San Antonio has a fiesta every year that lasts for, it started out as Fiesta Week. Now it's like 2 weeks, and it's a big, big celebration, and it's a family celebration. And certainly not being able to have it. But I like what the mayor said. Mayor Nirenberg said that Fiesta will be held, maybe just not at the time that we had planned it. So, postponed instead of canceled.
As a relief, I think that's probably the best option that we have. We have no guidelines on how this coronavirus is going to spread or how it's going to affect us. So given the situation, I think that is the best plan of action. There's so many organizations and schools and nonprofits that benefit from Fiesta that wouldn't be getting that funding this year. Aside from it being, such a highly anticipated time for social gatherings and fun, it really is a party with a purpose. And if we don't have it, it'll cut those funds off for these organizations that really, really need it.
Exactly. So you were at Incarnate Word. You've got the internship at Channel 5. At what point did you transition from there to the newspaper, to the Express News and mysa.com?
Yeah, I was actually an employee at Ken 5 right out of college. I was on the payroll, and I think I started August 2015. So from August 2015 to January 2016, I was at Ken 5. Started at the Express News and MySA later that month of January 2016. So I've been here ever since then.
Wow. So how do you feel about the fact that you've almost gotten fast-tracked into what is, for many people would be a dream job?
Yeah, I honestly probably didn't realize how lucky I was to land a gig in my hometown so quickly out of college, and I will forever thank my team here for taking a chance on me, really. I was so green. I had little experience in writing for the newspaper or writing digitally. So they really took a huge, huge chance on me, but they, over the course of a couple of months, found what my strengths were, and that was, being the voice for San Antonio, understanding San Antonio at the back of my hand. And we've really played into those strengths, and it's really helped develop my voice as a writer and my story ideas and story pitches. So I think now, I of course know now how lucky I was to get this position. Usually, like my colleagues from college have had to move all over the place. And I really did luck out here, and especially even luckier to have a team that supported me through that transition.
Yeah, well, it all starts with talent, that's for sure, and it was recognized in you. Now, I want to know where because your given name is Madalyn Mendoza, but you go by Maddy Sky. And there's not a lot of people who have, like a pen name, especially with the reporters, et cetera. Where did that come from?
Maddy Sky honestly probably started in the era of MySpace, the now very abandoned social media website. It was something that started in high school. I'm not even sure that I named myself. I think somebody else may have named me that, and I went along with it. And it's stuck ever since, but I do make sure to let people know that my full name is Madalyn Mendoza. So that sometimes, because I never know what my name is filed under for like RSVPs, and it has to give a million different names. Like, I need to ask them if either Madalyn Mendoza, Maddy Sky, Madalyn Sky. I'm not sure. Just one of those variations of the name.
Now, you tweet on a lot of different things. Do you get recognized from Twitter?
Yes, yeah, that's happening a little bit more frequently now, and it's always really funny. But yeah, it's usually from Twitter or Instagram. People will come up to me and ask if it's me, and sometimes I'm a little bit shy because it's like, I don't know if they don't know if it's me. It's just a lot goes into my head, but I'm always really excited when that happens.
Yeah, well, it's a phenomenon that that exists today. It used to be it was just television, but when people start recognizing you from a picture, then it really tells you something because, of course, they're not only following you, but I like the fact that you are so engaged with your friends and your followers, etc. And of course, on Twitter, anyone can follow you, and consequently, they kind of get to know you as time goes on, don't you think?
Yeah, it was funny because I forgot what tweet somebody had mentioned this in, but somebody had mentioned that they had seen me somewhere out, and then the rest of my followers started this kind of chain reaction, mentioning everywhere they had seen me around the city, places that I didn't even know I had been spotted. I think one really embarrassing one, I had unfortunately gotten a speeding ticket, and somebody said that they saw me at the courthouse for that speeding ticket, and I was really embarrassed. But yeah, certain events that people have said they saw me at, and I tell them, tell me hi. I always love meeting people. But it's funny because it's translated even into, like, my family members. My brother and my sister-in-law have said that people have spotted them out because I often share photos of my family. And then earlier this week, my mom was on a flight back from Vegas, and somebody messaged me and told me that they saw her. So it's more than just me now. People are starting to notice my family and my friends. Everybody knows about my crazy little dog, Delilah. She's a character. And, of course, they wouldn't really be able to spot her out, but she's an ongoing joke. Is how mean my little Shih Tzu is. Yes,
exactly, and I love the tweets that you put out. And by the way, if you'd like to follow Maddy, it's at Maddy Sky, Maddy Skye, and of course we'll have links to her other different accounts. So we're going to make you even more. We're going to make you internationally famous without you having
awesome. The more the merrier.
Yeah, even during the travel ban.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, I want to ask you about how it is you would coach someone who was in your position 5 years ago today. When we continue with Maddy Sky.
Sunny Radio, sunnyradio.com.
We're brought to you by Ideal Precision Roofing in San Antonio. There is no question about it. Ask homeowner after homeowner, and they'll tell you about their experience with Ideal. And as you know, we're coming up on, actually already in, hail season in South Texas. So in the coming months, you never know what might happen, and your roof all of a sudden is damaged, and you suspect maybe hail damage. It's hard for you to see what's going on up there. That is why Ideal Precision Roofing offers a free inspection. That's right. You make the call to 210-485-1553. An expert will come out. They'll actually go up on your roof, and they'll give you an assessment of what's going on up there. And if indeed you do have damage, they will then get the ball rolling with your insurance company. And you'll be surprised as to how easy the entire process is. And this is the one thing that Ideal customers say all the time. They appreciate the communication along the way. I mean, it's almost hourly. You do not have to worry about what is going on and how long it's going to take, and you'll be surprised right after it's done, it's like they were never even there. You've got a beautiful new roof, and then you too will be singing the praises of Ideal Precision Roofing. Give them a call for that free inspection at 210-485-1553 or visit them at idealprecisionroofing.com and tell them that Sonny Melendrez sent you.
You're listening to the Sonny Melendrez Show. Sunny's email address is sunny@sunnyradio.com.
My guest is Maddy Sky. She is a social media butterfly. There's no way, no other way to put it. You're definitely.
No, that's great.
you have this wonderful way of engaging with people via Twitter, and it's one thing to be a personality on television, even on radio, and have people recognize your voice or your face, etc. But when you can do that simply by the way that you engage your followers on Twitter and Instagram, etc., that's really a feather in your cap. So what advice would you have if you were coaching someone who was, let's say, fresh out of college and wanting to get into the entertainment business, the reporting, journalism, etc., especially social media? What would you say?
Well, the thing with my start and my Twitter expertise is that I kind of also lucked out in the sense that Twitter was starting right when I was in the thick of college. Actually, it started my senior year of high school. My first tweet was tweeted when I was a senior in high school. And so I built my original following just from tweeting things that an 18 to 21-year-old girl was interested in. And by the time I got my first job, I had built a pretty healthy following. I think it was around like 5,000 followers at the time, which is pretty modest now. But I think the biggest thing is I've always been myself. And I know that's really cliche and it's overused, but I really have always been myself. Once I got here to the Express News, they enjoyed the fact that I had a voice on Twitter and that I was engaging. And so back when I was starting my Twitter, me engaging with people wasn't anything out of the norm. These were my internet friends. And so it's kind of just translated it into my career as, communicating with my followers, asking their opinions, and it gives them the chance to be a part of the story. We'll ask questions that are pertinent to whatever news story is going on, whether it be a Spurs game or, a breaking news story, like if it is postponed, when would you prefer it to be hosted? And people chime in. People love chiming in and getting their opinions out there. And so that has something that has never changed. My ability to engage with people, my passion for engaging with the city has never changed. And it started long before I was on any payroll at any news station or newsroom. So being yourself, and that goes even aside from Twitter, finding your own stories that you're passionate about. Just because TV is reporting on something or another competitor is reporting on something doesn't mean that I have to as well. I would work my best to find a different angle or a different story that I'm passionate about that I want to write, not just because I'm following somebody else's lead. And that's really the biggest thing. And also just to never be intimidated by anybody. My mom always told me that, everybody puts on their pants the same way in the morning.
Yes.
And it's just a simple ideology, but something that goes so far. I've interviewed some of my icons, legends. I got the chance to ask Spurs coach Greg Popovich one question, but that was something that's been on my bucket list as a reporter for as far as I have been interested in this career, and I had the chance to ask him a question, and that was one of those things that I thought I would never be able to find the courage to do, and I did.
What did you ask him?
Yeah. It was during a Spurs Media Day, I think, not this current season, but the one before that. Lonnie Walker had just started with the Spurs, and I had heard that he had been having these one-on-one dinners with Lonnie Walker, and I kind of got the sense that maybe he was going to take him under his wing the way he did with Tim Duncan. Mm-hmm. And so my question was, how have those dinners been going? And he gave a little insight and kind of went off on a tangent discussing Anthony Bourdain, and I think he had just recently passed in those months. And so he tried to take a minute and compose himself after that. But it was a really surreal experience, one that I definitely will remember in one of my proudest moments. Yeah.
Well, just the fact that he didn't give you a one-word answer like he normally does.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually went off on a tangent.
Yeah. Well, this another thing that I love about you is that you are constantly pinching yourself. You have this wonderful way of showing your enthusiasm for everything that you get to do throughout your career. Is there any celebrity that you'd love to connect with or maybe interview that you haven't so far?
Ooh, if we're talking local, of course, it would be somebody like Tim Duncan. I've never interviewed Tim Duncan. I did get the chance to interview Manu Ginobili, and I was fangirling. I couldn't keep my composure together. But if we're talking national, wow, probably my icons, Oprah Winfrey, Barbara Walters, any of those strong women.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Well, Tim Duncan, I mean, there's no reason. Tim Duncan would be lucky to connect with you, you know? I'm telling you.
I have become somewhat Twitter friends, I guess, with Vanessa Macias, his longtime spouse and girlfriend. But
Yes.
I've never had the chance to even meet Tim Duncan. I don't think I've ever met Tim Duncan, which I think is rare for a San Antonian, especially a super first fan like myself, but I've never met Tim Duncan.
Well, if you know Vanessa, you should say, you know, Vanessa, I'd love to interview Tim for, just a few minutes. What would you suggest? You know?
You're right. Maybe we'll have to go that route.
Either one of them may be listening right now. You never know.
That would be awesome.
That's how it happens. That's wonderful. Yeah. Now, you mentioned your mom giving you some advice.
Oh, yeah. My mom is a treasure trove of advice. Most of the time, it's kind of rough around the edges, tough love advice, but I think that's the type of advice that I heed the most. She's gone through her own fair share of hardships, so I trust her advice more than anything. And it's always headstrong and very powerful, and so I think it contributes a lot. It contributes a lot to who I am today, and my older brother as well.
That's great.
Is equally as big of an influence.
Well, I'm sure they're very proud of you. Do you think that millennials get their news more from online than they do from a physical paper?
Definitely. I know myself and all of my friends, our biggest news source is Twitter, and the links that are shared on Twitter, of course, are directed back to websites like MySay, but people check Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know any of my friends that have actually picked up a newspaper themselves. I would be surprised. Yeah,
because it's much more convenient as well. Now, you didn't mention Facebook. Is Facebook not popular with millennials?
I honestly would not keep a Facebook if it weren't for my job and if it weren't for wanting to see photos of family, because most of my older family members, that's all they have. But Facebook isn't the app that I check the most. It's usually a back and forth between Twitter and Instagram.
And why not?
And I haven't really sat and wondered why, because Facebook was all the rage in college and in high school, but I don't really know why there's been such a shift. It's probably because, maybe the things that we want to share on Instagram and Twitter, that we know that our audiences are different on Instagram and Twitter than they are on Facebook.
Yeah.
More of our friends are on Instagram and Twitter. And if I want to share a meme or a joke or even a selfie, I know my grandparents and my aunts and uncles would appreciate seeing what I look like, but it's not the same audience. And it's maybe a little bit more serious on Facebook.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of fake news on Facebook. So I stray away from that as a journalist because it could be very frustrating.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. And of course, the other apps that you're talking about are bite size. So it's not like you've got to have all this other stuff that's constantly clouding up everything that you're trying to find because you're on the go. You're a social butterfly. I mean, come on, you don't have time for all this stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, it's Instagram and Twitter, it's nice and concise. Twitter is in nice little sound bites. Instagram's nice little snapshots. You keep your day moving.
What is the one tweet that you got more response to than any other?
It's probably my pin tweet, which is something that I just tweeted on a whim, did not think that anybody was going to care about it. I was actually eating a manzanada, and I'm very much, I'm a very punny person, or I don't know. And I started thinking about wordplay while I was eating a manzanada, and I tweeted, a manzanada is greater than a manzanada, man that doesn't have anything. And it continues to get reaction to the point that we even made a Fiesta Medal last year inspired by that tweet. And I even have T-shirts, and it's something that people will ask me in person, make a joke out of. And I swear to you, I thought I've had much funnier tweets that I posted in my years of Twitter, but that one has taken off like wildfire. It's slowed down now.
Funny.
But every once in a while, I'll get another retweet or another likes or something.
Explain what that is, the manzanada.
A manzanada is a frozen, it's like a mango sorbet with chamoy over it.
Of course.
It's a delicacy here in San Antonio, and now thinking about it has me craving one. Especially when it gets hotter outside. It's delicious.
Well, let me tell you, Maddy, you are a delicacy here in San Antonio. And it's just a delight to talk to you. And I know that Tim Duncan is going to call you. Vanessa's going to want to be in the interview, too. So get ready for that, all right?
I would hope so. Thank you so much.
Great talking to you. Thanks, Maddy.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Well, that's my visit with the amazing Madalyn Mendoza, a.k.a. Maddy Sky. You'll find all of Maddy's links at sunnyradio.com/show. That's sunnyradio.com/show. And while you're there, please subscribe to the podcast. And if you're already a subscriber and you like the program, please leave a review. Love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm Sonny Melendrez, reminding you that even though we aren't shaking hands and hugging as much as we'd like to these days, there's no reason why we can't reach out and touch somebody's heart through social media. We'll get through this. Bye-bye.